In the book of Daniel in the Bible, there's a part where Daniel receives a vision about the future. In Daniel 10:10, he talks about Persia and Greece. Now let's break it down. First, Daniel mentions Persia. Persia was a powerful empire that ruled a big chunk of the world back then. Daniel saw that Persia would rise up and become really strong. This happened in history when the Persian Empire became a dominant force in the ancient world. But then Daniel talks about Greece. He says that after Persia, Greece would come along and become even stronger. This part of the vision is pretty amazing because it actually came true. After Persia, Alexander the Great, who was from Greece, conquered much of the known world, spreading Greek culture and influence far and wide. So why is this important? Well, it shows us that God knows what's going to happen in the future. He revealed these things to Daniel so that people would understand that he's in control, even when big empires rise and fall. Now, some people might wonder why God would bother telling Daniel about Persia and Greece. It's because it helps us see that God's plan is bigger than just what's happening right now. He sees the whole picture from beginning to end. Plus, knowing about these empires helps us understand other parts of the Bible too. It's like putting together pieces of a puzzle. When we see how history lines up with what the Bible says, it strengthens our faith and helps us trust God even more. So the prophecies concerning Persia and Greece in Daniel 10:10 show us that God is in control of history and that He's got a plan for everything, even when things seem uncertain. It's a reminder to trust Him and His wisdom, no matter what's going on in the world. Sure, let's delve deeper into the significance of these prophecies and how they relate to God's plan. After Daniel's visions about Persia and Greece, there's more to uncover. You see, these prophecies aren't just about predicting the future, they're also about revealing God's character and His relationship with humanity. So let's start with Persia. When Daniel saw that Persia would rise to power, it wasn't just a random prediction. It showed that God is aware of what's going on in the world, even before it happens. This tells us that God is all-knowing and that nothing takes Him by surprise. He's always one step ahead, and that's pretty reassuring, don't you think? Now let's talk about Greece. When Daniel saw that Greece would follow Persia and become even stronger, it showed that God's plan isn't just for one moment in time. He's got a bigger picture in mind, and sometimes His plan involves using different nations and empires to accomplish His purposes. Take Alexander the Great, for example. He might have seemed like just another conqueror, but in the grand scheme of things, he played a role in spreading Greek culture and language throughout the known world. And that set the stage for the spread of Christianity later on. Now you might be wondering, why does all of this matter? Well, it matters because it shows us that God is active in human history. He's not some distant deity who created the world and then left it to its own devices. No, He's involved in every aspect of our lives, from the rise and fall of empires to the smallest details of our day-to-day existence. And that's where faith comes in. When we see how God has worked in the past, it gives us confidence to trust Him with our future. We know that He's got a plan, even when things seem uncertain or chaotic. We can rest in the knowledge that His purposes will ultimately prevail, no matter what challenges we may face along the way. But there's more to these prophecies than just reassurance. They also serve as a warning. You see, God's plan isn't just about the rise and fall of nations. It's also about the redemption of humanity. And sometimes that means confronting evil and injustice head-on. Think about it. Both Persia and Greece were powerful empires, but they were also known for their cruelty and oppression. So when Daniel prophesied about their rise and fall, it was a reminder that God sees what's going on in the world and that He won't tolerate injustice forever. And that's a message that's just as relevant today as it was back then. In a world where injustice seems to be everywhere we look, it's comforting to know that God hasn't forgotten about us. He sees our struggles, and He's working behind the scenes to bring about justice and redemption. So the prophecies concerning Persia and Greece in Daniel 10:10 aren't just ancient history. They're a timeless reminder of God's sovereignty, His faithfulness, and His unwavering commitment to His people. They remind us that no matter what challenges we may face, we can trust in God's plan and His promise to never leave us or forsake us. And that's something worth holding on to, don't you think?